Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, again. You may have seen us a few minutes ago because something changed on the stream deck. We don't know, we'll fix it. But anyway, when I press the intro to start the countdown, that's usually our 3-minute warning of get everything set. I pressed it and I was like, hi! But if you're listening on demand, then you didn't see that, so it's fine. Hi. How is everyone doing? Welcome into the stream. For those of you who don't know, you should be able to see. There we go. My name is Graham Day, and this is the man that we call Bibby, and we are in the studio. How is everyone doing? If you're in the chat, please feel free to drop in and let us know that you're there. Nimblin's gone. Just exactly what cameras do. Guten Morgen, boyos. How's things, dude? How's things?
Morning, mate.
I'll read. David said lol. David must have been here for that bit. Hi. Yeah. Gargad's in as well. Anyway, obviously you guys know, my name is Graham, this is Bib. I've just shown you, I'll show you again. We together are Ice Cream Uploads, and we go live on Twitch each and every single weekday at 10 AM-ish. With this, in true Ice Creamy fashion, is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. We're going to bring you the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games, and we want your thoughts and impressions on those stories. Tell you what, we'll give you our thoughts and impressions, and then we want your thoughts and impressions on those as well. And it'd be good if you do that, because we, like I said, are live on Twitch, but we turn this into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So please feel free to get involved in the chat on behalf of everyone listening. Ambiance of everyone listening and watching on demand a little bit later on. But how is everyone doing? How are you, Bib?
Yeah, I'm good. Good.
Last time you will see us in the studio. For those of you who don't know as well, we usually have a little bit more of a professional setup in the studio. You can't see it. I mean, I can tinker with the cameras. So you can get the side view. What you can't quite see though is we have a big old desk just over there. And that desk is kind of like an esports desk with a TV on the front of it that we usually have in the centre of this setup. But social distancing, the desk isn't that big, so if I was sat next to it, I wouldn't be 2 meters away from Bib, so we're not really allowed to do that. So that is why we are sat like this. Eventually we will get into a world when we can come into the ice cream studio and sit at the desk on the GT Omega racing chairs and all be spectacular. But until then, we're just going to sit with laptops on our knees like this. Nice. One thing to mention, I always forget, is it Peppiatt? Is that how you pronounce it? I think, Cameron. You mentioned something, you asked about stream music on social media, which Bibby responded to and I responded to. Just tell you, because I mentioned it to Bibby earlier on this morning, if you ever want something live, there is a channel on Twitch called owned_music, I think it is, and owned, the E is a 3. It's basically owned, OWN3D is a brand that does stream graphics and overlays and things like that. It was on Slack.
It's on Slack, okay,
yeah.
I'll leave that off then.
So anyway, Owned Music do, they have a 24-hour streaming channel on Twitch, which is only lo-fi music, so if you want some nice chill lo-fi music, then yeah, that'll be, that. You can just check that out. Yeah, owned_music. Bibby's got the link for you right now. So yeah, if you want music, then you gotta check that out. I know that because we've bought some assets from Owned in the past, and the email updates through, and that was one that came through. Check it out; it's decent. So if you don't have anything installed and you're looking for some music on the fly, then that's a good thing to check out. Hashtag spawn. No, it's not really spawn, but it could be Owned if you want. Anyway, we have a bunch of stories for you today. So should we jump in?
Why not?
Let's do it. I've got to figure out how to do this. It's been a while. It's like 3 weeks. Hey, okay, move our position. Okay, we're going to go over this side. We'll stay down there. So this article...
Got a new follower then as well. Techie Specky, thank you very much for the follow.
Hey.
Appreciate it.
Welcome in. This article written by Alex Calvin for VG247 says, Ratchet Clank Rift Apart is a PS5 exclusive and is not coming to PS4. Insomniac has confirmed that the upcoming Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is exclusive to PlayStation 5. In a post on Twitter, the developer responded to a question about whether the title would be coming to PS4, and it turns out that the answer is a solid no. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart was announced for the PS5 in June of this year. The title showed off many of the PlayStation 5's features in the form of ray trace reflections on Clank's character model, as well as the hardware's fast loading time thanks to the console's new SSD. Given that quickly moving from one world to another, thanks to improved loading times, seems pretty integral to the experience, it seems unlikely in retrospect that Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart was ever coming to the PS4. Still, it's nice to dream. You can also check out 7 minutes of the gameplay. Do you know what? We'll leave it there because we're now starting to get into the details of things that we know elsewhere about. The fact it's 4K, has 30 FPS, and blah 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 blah, 60 FPS, blah blah blah. Fine, we get it. The gist: Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah.
Not coming to PS4. Thoughts?
Do you think it's weird that they didn't mention this earlier? As it's a first-party game, I would have expected them to say only on PlayStation. It's a bit weird that the announcements come from someone replying to someone on Twitter, on social media.
Do you know what? I didn't think it was weird that they didn't announce it earlier, but now you've said that, then yeah, I suppose I do. Because it's absolutely apparent that it's a next-gen game to me.
Yeah.
In terms of... For those that don't know, there was a bit in there... I don't know if I actually... Yeah, there was a bit in there that says it seems given that moving quickly from one world to another thanks to improved loading time seems pretty integral to the experience. It seems unlikely in retrospect that Ratchet & Clank was ever come to PS4. That kind of makes sense. So if you haven't seen it, there was a trailer in Gamescom. I think it was Gamescom. Or it was either that or it was State of Play. One of the shows that we covered in the summer. And it was basically, if you haven't played the games, imagine Portal. You're in this room and then there's a big circle there. You jump through the circle and you're in a completely different place, but the game has to load this room and that room side by side. On a PS4 you might jump through the room and then you've got a bit of a loading screen. That doesn't happen. So I was kind of like, well, it kind of makes sense, but yeah, the fact that they never mentioned it always leaves a little bit of doubt there, thinking, oh yeah, I've got this, I don't need the new PS5. And,
I agree with them in there saying that. Sorry, I agree with you as well that the game relies on them being able to. Are you laughing at their fucking jokes? You are, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Stop. That it's a game that's built for the new console. We've seen the videos of them warping through time, and it's like that. As you're floating in the air, you still got all the action. It takes like less than a second to be able to go through to the next part. That is obviously the main part of the game, to show off. It's basically like a tech demo with a Ratchet and Clank game.
It's literally like you'd experience it on a film. Like you put your hand through the Stargate or something like that, and then you're still live on this world on this side, and you're on that world on that side simultaneously. And being able to compute that on a PS4, it's like, I mean, not that PS4 doesn't have any power, but to that level of a fully fleshed out ray trace world on both sides of the coin, yeah, you need that fast loading time to be able to do that.
That may have been absolutely blatantly obvious from the get-go that it wasn't ever going to be a PlayStation 4 game, but you'd think with the marketing stuff it was like only on PlayStation 5, that kind of thing, just to emphasise it, so that articles like this don't get written about the game 4 months after it was shown originally.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, because that only on PlayStation 5 or kind of thing, that has been used elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there was doubts to that, in terms of maybe it was never set as being just PS5. Maybe they were hopeful that they could get it to come to PS4, but then over time have realised, yeah, okay, well, there's no way we can make that. Even with the loading time, the disconnect is too huge. Or they've probably just gone, oh well, we sold all the PS5, so fuck it, PS4's dead. Let's get out of here, boys.
Maybe later down the line, because I think it's something that you mentioned yesterday, that optimization somewhere down the line when people get more familiar. I mean, they're getting more familiar with a console that's now going to be last gen rather than current gen. That it may be in a year's time they actually think, okay, well, we've managed to optimize it to a degree where we feel comfortable with the experience that you're going to get. Obviously, this was built for a PlayStation 5 game, so I do expect it to not be as flawless and as smooth as it is on the PlayStation 5, but it's still worthwhile playing. That they may end up bringing it out in a year or so, which is, like you said, maybe not why they've marketed it just as a PlayStation 5 game, but still, I probably wouldn't have even bothered touching that question on social media when someone's asked about it, or wait for a press release further down the line rather than just saying on a social media platform, which it baffles me that it's come out with something like that. Yeah. It's just a throwaway comment in a social media post.
Yeah, it's like you say, not even a proactive outward post, a response to someone else. It's like, you'd expect that in a PR. It's coming out in this date on these systems, and it's going to cost this much. That's the kind of stuff that you get in a press release, not just a look at all the amazing things. Can I play it? No, you can't. No, you can't. No. I'm whispering down there like I've still got my headset on at home. I don't know whether you caught that through the microphone, but there you go.
Morning, chappers.
Good morning, everyone. The reason Bibby was chuckling and I was chuckling is in response to Ratchet and Clank only being on PS5 and not PS4. Gary says, "I bet that will cause a rift with PS4 owners." To which Mr. T responds, "Game doesn't seem like a Ratchet job though, but I bet it will absolutely clank when it comes out."
I was going to have... I would really need to write out. I brought a marker down from my desk and I was going to write boo Asim, boo Gary, because I knew inevitably somewhere in this podcast one of them two bastards will be jumping up with some daft pun somewhere and then flip a page over boo Graham.
See, the thing is, I've got nothing left to work with because I don't know anything about Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank and Rift have been used. I mean,
they're the slam dunks.
Yeah, after that, I mean, I know those, but apart from that, there's nothing left. That's literally all I had to work with. I don't know anymore. Chappers says, "I think it's something we could have seen coming. There's no way the PS4 could do those rifts at all. No, it's such a big... the thing is, it can be something that could be easily forgotten. Because you look at it and you think, oh, it's a cartoon. It's not The Last of Us. But games... It's hard to make a game look that effortless.
Yeah.
And so a lot of resources will have gone into making Ratchet and Clank look as effortless as it does. So yeah,
I haven't played that much Ratchet and Clank, but the one that I did play was the one that got. I think my first actual experience with the Ratchet and Clank game was the one that got released, maybe last year, maybe even 2 years now, on PlayStation Plus. It coincided with the film. It was basically just the game of the film. Really, really good game.
There's a Ratchet and Clank film.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, basically, it's all the cutscenes that were in the game are in the film. So
okay.
It's basically play through. That was my only experience with it.
Have you played the Metal Gear Solid 4 film?
Yeah, what do you mean with the half-an-hour cutscenes?
2-hour cutscene.
But I would say I don't know how well these games sell. It's quite an ignorant statement. I probably should have looked that up before making that kind of statement. I don't know how well they sell. But this is absolutely the kind of game that you would be bundling your PlayStation 5 with for... I say younger children. Yeah, it's the bundle for the maybe under 12s. It's the Peggy 13 bundle. You'll have that. You'll have FIFA, probably Minecraft along the way, and then
PUBG.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Chloe can play that, couldn't she, without you intervening? But yeah, it's definitely one of those kind of games that you're going to be bundling this with, providing that they could have even got these out at Christmas, because you ain't getting a next gen console this Christmas unless you pre-ordered. So it's definitely something that they're going to be having for next year at some point.
I mean, is this out at launch? I'm not sure if it could be. I thought it was a bit later, but it doesn't actually say. It just says when the PS5 is out, so I'd assume maybe then. But yeah, if it is, then it's absolutely going to be in that bundle. Gary says those transitions with the game can only be done with the SSD, I reckon. Yeah, 100%. Asim saying, yeah, without the SSD, the Rift stuff wouldn't be possible. You'd have a minute or so loading screen between. Yeah, even if it's not a minute, even if they've managed to... The stuff they've learned recently in terms of speeding up first-party games like Spider-Man's and Uncharted's or Last of Us or whichever ones had been sped up, even if they use that, a minute loading screen is cut down to... A 1.5 was down to 13 seconds.
Yeah.
13 seconds is still quite jarring, especially when you think, like, what you've seen in the demo of, like, I'm here, whoop, and now I'm there, carry on, and it's like, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, it's hard to scroll through Twitter really quick.
And then you land, you think, oh, fuck, I forgot to bring my thing, so you jump, whoop, whoop, and then it's like...
Yeah.
And then you've got to jump back through again. Suddenly that becomes 45 seconds of waiting when you would have gone, boop, 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 and gone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like this is one of the biggest ones that I'll always mention. Conveniently, the Resident Evil one where the door used to open, used to walk through. Yeah, very convenient. Walking through the door just to be able to hide the loading times. I couldn't imagine experiencing that now for the first time. I only put up with it now because I absolutely fucking love those games. But imagine having that now in a game for a loading screen. It would piss you off no end.
See, I'm not a person that appreciates retro gaming as much as you do. So you play retro games and go, yeah. I mean, games that I have an affinity with and have played, and I have that feeling of playing it the first time. That's something I can take. But imagine someone like me, but at the end of this generation and going to the next generation, where loading and waiting just doesn't happen, and then imagine having to load up GTA 5.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, if there's one thing that we need to take out of this generation, it's those PlayStation 4 GTA 5 loading screens for online. Like, when I reinstalled it and I streamed it for that night, and I had to wait, no joke, about 4 minutes between each races, that instantly put me off. It got deleted instantly after I finished that stream, because I could not be arsed. Like, why am I waiting this long to be able to have a race? I can go on any other racing game in the world and be able to get into a game within seconds. But that, for some reason, it's just... I don't know if it's badly optimised or the servers are just that full, it just can't handle that many people on. I'm probably the latter with how many games. I mean, it's probably still in the chart now.
It could be a bit of both. I mean, it might not necessarily be that it's badly optimised. I mean, it could be badly optimised, but it might also be that it's optimised, but there's that much stuff going on. But yeah, there's one noise that absolutely just ruins GTA for me, and it's the noise where the camera goes from you to being above you, and you boom.
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. Well, I'm not doing anything the next 3 minutes. Might as well sit comfortable. Yeah, exactly.
Fucking so annoying. Speaking of annoying,
what, you talking about Yeehaw?
I would never speak about Yeehaw like that.
I was gonna say, morning, handsome chaps. Hey, how's things, dude? Daniel says, OMG, I stopped playing because of that. Absolutely, that's what you said about annoying. More of the bottage. It's absolutely follower central at the moment. I was literally talking about it on Twitter to the Beard Guys this morning. Shout out to the Beard Guys, by the way. Talking about how he would never raid a channel that has followers only mode on, because if he wants to send his viewers to a channel, when you raid someone, you're basically entrusting them with your viewers. So like, here's my community, look after them. And if you go, you can all come in my house, but you have to, I don't know, whatever.
Put your hand up to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, what? Start all joining the conversation. No. So yeah. Anyway, the other side, at the time I said we would only ever consider using it if we had another influx of that other stuff, follower only mode.
That one the other day was horrific. That's the first time that's ever happened to us, I think. Well, I've been on the stream anyway, where about 60 of them was there.
Just because we're absolutely killing it content.
Well, I suppose, yeah, when you're coming into the UK's #1 video game podcast, goes live each and every weekday at 10 AM, then I imagine...
What, on Twitch?
On Twitch, yeah.
Is there a channel for that?
There is, /Ice Cream Uploads. It's like we rehearsed that, but generally we didn't.
Nice.
Morning anyway, Yeehaw. How's it going, Daniel? Good morning. Oh, ads as well. Morning, Shagger.
Oh, I didn't even see ads. Hey, there he is. Gary says I made a full roast dinner in between the time waiting for a GTA race to start and eating it. Almost retracted that handsome comment. All right, calm down. I've got proper fuzz face going on this morning, and I need all the handsome comments I can get.
And grey hair.
Lost out. Yeah, I've got a little grey patch on the. So yeah, for those of you that missed me explaining it yesterday, I could have shaved it off on the weekend, and I thought, do you know what? We're going to lockdown. All the barbers and stuff are going to get shut. I'm going to get my money's worth.
It's good point, actually. I bet my barber's already closed.
It wasn't so much that I wanted to leave this growing. I just wanted the bits around it to grow, so he has more to work with when he's cutting it in. Anyway, beard talk over. I think the doors in Resi helped the game. It added the tension, not being able to glimpse what was coming up. Yeah, I agree. 100%. It's amazing how things that have been put in... We speak about this pretty much every time we go into this type of subject, but things like the fog in Silent Hill, which covers out the rendering distance, so the fact that you couldn't see forever, the fog makes it so that that's not an issue, but also adds the tension because you can't see what's coming, so that's good in that sort of way. And Metal Gear Solid, based on the fact that the old games couldn't compute you fighting people. If you were on screen with, I think it was like 6 bad guys off, or whatever it was, whatever the number was, certain number of bad guys made the game go, blue screen, can't figure this out. So they made it so that rather than killing everyone and getting to big shootouts, you avoid people so that you don't cause the game to crash in. And that's where Metal Gear Solid and stealth gaming came from. It came from a necessity of trying to get around the system. But just imagine if we'd have started off with SSDs. We'd have no Silent Hill like fog stopping render distance. We wouldn't have the loading doors for Metal Gear Solid. We wouldn't. I mean, you can get 64 players in one lobby or 100 in PUBG all in the same screen. You might lose some frames or something, but you can get it all in there. None of that issue anymore. It's like Solid Snake. There'd be no stealth games. It'd be just incredible. Chapter says GTA 5 will have no loading screens when it releases on the PS8. GTA 5.
It is gonna. Is this win an award for the most ported game? It can't do.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's
Skyrim.
Yeah, I mean, you could say you own 27 copies of that.
Yeah,
so.
but I'm sure it's one of the only games that was going to be on 3 different PlayStations. I think that was it, or 3 different Xboxes as well.
Tetris, most platforms. Says Daniel. Yeah, I mean, just saying. I mean, Tetris was. It's like the top of the all-time game sales charts or something, but I don't think it should be.
No, I don't either, because they're fucking stupid bastards.
They bundle all the different versions of it under one thing.
Mario Kart could do that.
Yeah, like Mario Kart 8 and all the rest of them. Because you've got like all the different, like, I don't know, Super Tetris or whatever the effect they call. They were all just bundled in.
Tetris Effect.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously the new
does
one.
Does that actually class as it?
I think so, yeah. I think they bundled it in. It's
a different game.
It is a different game. They could literally do it with anything.
It used to be Minecraft is top now. Yeah, I thought it might have been, because when we covered it about 3 or 4 months ago, that was at the start. Oh, maybe it was probably about 8 months ago now, actually thinking about it. 2020. I don't know. 4 months is 8 months. It was at the start of, like, the resurgence of Minecraft again. And at that point, it was looking like Minecraft had usurped it. But yeah. Anyway, so Ratchet & Clank is what we were talking about, though. Ratchet & Clank is available for PS5, or will be available for PS5, but not for PS4. Speaking of PS5 and Ratchet & Clank, if we're talking family gaming, we want to jump on and talk a little bit about something that you might have seen in the video games industry today. I'm not going to go through the full article, but we will put the link in the chat for you. This is Ask About Games and their Get Set Go campaign. This is something that UKI, the UK Interactive Entertainment body, the governing body for the UK games industry, basically, have a campaign regarding making sure that if you are going to be playing next-gen games, or even current-gen games, that your consoles are set up, particularly if you have a focus on family gaming. So if you are looking at Ratchet & Clank, or any video games that you might want to play with little ones, like Tetris Effect, if that comes out on the PS5, then making sure that your consoles are set up with your little ones in mind. Obviously, if your little one gets onto a console and you've not set up in the right way, they could have access to everything out there. Some kids, that's fine. Some kids not, depending on the age ranges and all the rest. Anyway, the campaign Get Set Go is about educating parents and gamers in general with the knowledge of how to set up their consoles best so that kids can get set and go with their consoles. As well as that, as well as just the knowledge of what could and shouldn't be seen by kids. There's also really, really good tip in there in terms of, we kind of spoke about it the other day, saying console launch day always seems, let's go back to the studio. The console launch day always seems like a magical time, because you're like, oh, new console, yeah, I'm going to play this, and you just end up updating the crap out of your console and so on. Jigs, I got the first. One of the things that the Get Set Go campaign says is, if you are getting a console, having a kid waiting to play a game and just seeing loading screens can be one of the most frustrating things ever, particularly if it's going to be on Christmas Day. So get your console, open it up, and update everything, get all your accounts set up, put parental controls in if you need it, and then start your gaming. Anyway, that link there is the Ask About Games page, which is obviously being promoted by UKI. You'll see a lot of brands, including, I've seen Minecraft, I've seen Xbox, the powerhouse giants at Jelly Media have posted it already today, plus a number of the people across the industry posted that today. That has guides detailing how to set up your consoles, how to get them all up to date and everything. I'm assuming most people in here know that anyway, but it's for a good cause, so there you go. We just wanted to make sure that everyone does.
I don't know if you've seen the message that I sent to you yesterday, but our demographic on, so I mean, obviously when people come into the Twitch chat, you're mainly all from the UK, but when it comes to SoundCloud, 93% of our demographic are Americans. So if you guys listening to this probably have data caps. So what I would suggest doing is, if it is for your kids for Christmas, when you get it next week, they get theirs next week, don't they?
12.
Yeah. So when you open it up, get as much as you can installed that you know your kid's going to be able to play. Because when it comes to opening it up on Christmas Day, you probably will have patches to download as well. So you're going to have 95% of the game downloaded before you rebox it, put it away for a month, and so your kid gets it. So at least when your kid opens it on Christmas Day, you're probably not going to get stung by data caps or long download periods.
Yeah, at least, I mean, even if you do get, say Ratchet and Clank is there and you get it on launch day, if it is a launch day game, you get that downloaded and you get the day one patch. There might be a 4-week patch, which is still going to be before Christmas, but you don't have to create your, add your PSN account and link it to your other social bits or not, or whatever. So, yeah. Definitely. Get it all in. Get it all done. Bosh, job's a good one. And that's all good for Sony. But tell you what isn't all good for Sony.
What isn't all good for Sony?
Well, we spoke about it yesterday. You may have seen the PlayStation 5 news. We spoke about it on stream yesterday. So PlayStation 5 was a website that was dedicated to providing... what do you call them? Shells, is that it?
I would go with shells.
Okay, shells. The white shell on a PS5, you can pop the sides off of that. PlayStation 5 was dedicated to bringing custom versions of that you can put on, so you can change the style and look of that. We shared yesterday that PlayStation 5 basically got a cease and desist from Sony because it was infringing on the copyright. PlayStation 5 was too close to PlayStation 5 in the same vertical, so they were basically told to rebrand, which they did, to customise my plates. Anyway, that has gone a little bit further since then. So rather than just rebranding, it's gone a little bit further. A Sony legal threat compels PS5 faceplate company to cancel all orders. Obviously, there were signs of this yesterday, but it's just confirmed officially now. As Customise My Plates also had to rebrand from PlayStation 5 following complaints from the platform holder. So Sony has taken legal action against the peripherals manufacturer that was selling custom faceplates for the upcoming PS5 console. VGC reports CustomizeMyPlates.com, previously known as PlayStation5.com, has cancelled all orders and pulled its range from sale. However, at the time of writing, the products still seem to be listed on the website. The company was offering unofficial faceplates, there we go, for PS5 in a range of colours, following a Sony video showing the official white plates can be removed. It was working with manufacturers in the UK and China to build the plates based on the officially released PS5 specifications and aimed to ship the first products to customers within 2 weeks of the console's upcoming launch. The site told VGC it carried out due diligence and believes that, since Sony's patents on the faceplates is still pending, it was legally allowed to create its own alternatives. But after only a day of our website being live, Sony's lawyers asked us to change our name due to trademark infringements, a spokesperson said. We thought this switch would be enough to keep everyone happy, and honestly, we're open. So since we were already underway without our product development. Oh, okay, I get it. But then Sony's lawyers told us it was their opinion that Sony's intellectual property extended to the faceplates, and that if we continued to sell and distribute them in any country, we would end up in court. The spokesperson confirmed it's in the process of cancelling and refunding all orders, adding, "We are extremely disappointed about this, but we have no other option." So, can we get some ice up rips in the chat?
So does this mean now then that it's absolutely inevitable that we're going to be seeing Sony create their own faceplates? Does that mean that they'll be going after people on the likes of AliExpress or what other third-party website that are being distributed from and manufactured from China? Are they going to have the same problems that Plate Station or Customize My Plates have run into?
It's a good question. Good question, because my initial, I mean, we were talking about it before we went on air. My initial reaction was, I've got a mobile phone and I can buy custom cases from my phone. I don't necessarily have to buy Apple's own specific products. But then I was thinking, okay, my case isn't part of my phone, so I suppose that's technically different. But then again, Apple still do sell their products, so then I was thinking, okay, maybe not. As it's an actual part of the as an actual part of the console and not something that wraps around it, maybe not in that sort of sense. But then again, we had it with the Xbox 360 faceplates. You could buy third-party aftermarket Xbox 360 faceplates. So is this just being guilty by being too, I want to say, successful? I mean, it's not the word I'm looking for, but because it's time relevant, because the product is at its peak and everyone's talking about it and it's unfounded, unannounced stuff right now, is it a case of they've gone too big too soon so that they've caught the attention? Potentially. Mad says, what am I ripping? The PlayStation 5 is the website, which then they had to change the name from PlayStation 5 to customisemyplates.com, but the website has been killed in total as it stands. So in that, guys, you will not be able to buy custom faceplates. Do we think that will stop it entirely? No. As Mr. Gary Clark has just said, they'll never be able to totally stop it. It's impossible. Give it 2 weeks and eBay will be full of them from China. Absolutely. And that's the bit where I was saying, is it a case of it's guilty of its success? Maybe not so much guilty of success as such, but what's the phrase? Flying too close to the sun. If you're too close to Sony, by using a name that's almost PlayStation 5, by getting it publicised alongside the launch, just after they've announced their first information, you're poking a sleeping tiger. At that point, Sony's not arsed. They've got enough on their plate. I didn't even mean to do that, by the way. But they've got enough on the table, let's put it that way. So they didn't need it, but by doing that, you've kind of forced them to make a decision at that point, because it's their brand. If they don't make a stance then they're just, it's kind of like, well, everyone have a go. Go.
So all that's going to happen is the people who own Customise My Plates are going to stay quiet for the next month or so, then wait for potentially people to start releasing them elsewhere, and then create their own shop again, just under a different name. They're never going to go away.
Plates that are customised.com. I think that's probably, it's probably the likely thing. If they're not in production already, they will massively be close to it. If someone hasn't sourced the dimensions from one of the manufacturers, because everything always gets sourced and pushed out early on. It could be technology in terms of product sizing, or it could be technology in terms of textiles or whatever. You've seen any form of something that's mass produced. If you don't get the hardware product, you can get dimensions, and if not, then in 9 days time, 8 days time, whatever it is, 9 days time, 9 days time, we will have the consoles in major parts of the world anyway. So at that point, people can just get the dimensions that are needed there to start doing 3D printing, if it's just on a small scale or doing mass production of them. So they will absolutely.
People do their own. Like I say, they're gonna have their own blueprint. Someone in America, when they just rip the console apart, that's got a 3D printer that's actively interested in creating their own stuff. They're just gonna get the dimensions, get the blueprint, put it on the internet. People then download the blueprint, put it in the 3D printer, and then whatever texture that they want being slapped on the side of it. It wouldn't surprise me if, but like back in the day, for instance, there was a bloke at the end of my street that used to burn CDs, whatever CD he wanted, 5 for a tenner or whatever he'd be able to do. There was someone on your street that will be dealing in faceplates. Whatever you want, he'll be able to get you.
Got cosmic blue. Nice,
Well, there will be people that will be doing that. Maybe not particularly advertising it online, but the local geezer will probably be doing this sort of stuff. I know someone that has a 3D printer. It wouldn't surprise me if he started doing it. He does baubles for trees at Christmas, like I got for Samantha last year. That was amazing. But he will definitely, if he knows he can make a little bit more cheddar out of it, he will just buy another 3D printer and leave 2 running overnight.
Well, get onto your blog, tell them what an ICU faceplate.
That would be an absolute shout. Didn't even think about that. There you go.
Ideas, man. Hey. Jumping back into the chat then. What? Crookbrooks, so here I'm doing everything I can, hold into what I am, pretending I'm... there we go. I was like, it was only when I got to the end of it, I thought you were actually having a conversation there.
No, he says, can you sing a song? Can you sing a song about Tony Hawk? So why not take the best song that's ever been on Tony Hawk's game ever?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was like, what? So here I am doing... I thought you were talking about doing everything. I was like, I'm trying to sort it out, mate. I bet Sony wouldn't care as much if these guys launched in 3 months rather than now. I agree.
They just want to be first out the gate, don't they?
I did. It was kind of funny Games Daily, and they were saying it was kind of a difference of opinion. We all kind of assumed if Sony weren't already gonna do this, then they definitely would now. But one of the guys on the kind of funny Games Daily podcast was basically saying he thinks Sony might be high in their own stash in terms of it could also be Sony think they've made the perfect console, so why would anyone want to change it? No, we don't want you changing it. This is what the PS5 looks like. It's popped collar, white shirted console, and that's what it is. Yeah. We don't want anyone else offering different visuals of it, because that weakens the image of our next gen console, which is on the hashtag. You type it, well, it's actually the DS5 controller, but yeah, that white and black sort of branding. If you can get a red version, that's not what we want. That's not our console.
But if there was already more than one variant of this console, then I would be buying any other console. But white, I think it's massive. It's massively ugly. Like, it just doesn't. It will not fit aesthetically.
I love how much you hate it.
It's fucking horrible. Like, it's horrible. Like, everything in my room, my desk, my monitors, my games case behind me, the bookshelf that I've got my vinyl player on, all of it's black. Why the fuck would I want a massive white console?
See, I'm going to sit there on my white desk and remove my white PS4 Pro and stick in my white PS5 next to my black PC tower, so it's white and black, and it'll just all fit perfectly. So
yeah, so any other colour, I'd have taken like midnight blue or something shit like that. I don't know, or something like that. I would. It's alright,
because my midnight blue. Yeah. I get you. Daniel says, I think we'll see exclusive accessory licenses granted to specific IPs companies.
Madcaps.
Which is why we're seeing this now. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, that's going to happen anyway, without a doubt. I completely agree with that one. Mad says, blueprint? Blueprint?
What's that? What's that? Nah, lol. What's that? Is that a global emote? No, Tashnar.
Ah, okay. Tashnar, that's who was at the Twitch party with us at Christmas.
Was it?
Yeah.
we had a free Heineken.
Oh, you remember his beer pong?
Yeah, exactly. I was fucked.
And Jumbo Ash.
He's a fucking legend, him.
Yeah. Maybe we can use the 3D print to make another 3D printception. Sony like a bull in a plate shop. Hey. Gary says, yeah, it's not a good-looking console at all. I actually really like it now. I hated it. Not hated it, I disliked it when we first saw it on the announcement thing, but it grew on me. The more I saw it, the very next day, I saw the Boss Logic mock-up of the Miles Morales version, and I was like, why didn't you give me that? And then I saw someone else, maybe another Boss Logic one, of just the black version with the blue light rather than the red light, and I was like, okay, see that as well. But then I saw it, and I saw it, and I saw it, and again, and I just thought, okay, now it's just looking like a big black slab.
Yeah,
so
that's what I want.
Yeah,
next to me, big PlayStation 4 that's black and blue. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no, I get that, and it would make complete sense in most people's units and stuff. But just as that one standalone design, which I think that's probably where the issue is the fact that they've gone different directions, but Xbox and PlayStation have both not thought about where the console sits in the world. They've designed their product, their distinct product, and it's like, okay, that's wonderful, but it's not going to be sat on a plinth in a museum. That's going to be next to my TV. And it's like, what's that stupid vase? Yeah. Why is it so big?
Well, there was jokes, weren't there, originally when the Xbox got shown, and it was like, look at the size of that, it's going to be bigger than my PC tower. Then the PlayStation shows up, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
PlayStation's like, hold my plate.
Well, the thing is, like, the PlayStation 1 was great. The original PlayStation 1 was great, and then clearly down the line it was like, why did we ever make it that? It's fucking horrible colour. Then the PlayStation 2 came out. What colour was that, Graham?
It was black.
When the PlayStation 3 came out, what colour was that?
That was shiny black.
When the PlayStation 4 came out, what colour was that?
Kind of shiny black, but also not shiny black.
And then they brought out the 25th anniversary one, which was in the original PlayStation 1 console colour, which was amazing. That looked brilliant. It looked so much nicer than the colour that was on the original PlayStation. So where the fuck did they get white from? At what point during that conversation did white come in?
Yeah, but see, I mean, you could say that at a PS2 generation, though. They've gone grey. Where the fuck did they get the black from for the PS2?
Because beige went out years before that. Like, why?
It wasn't beige, it was just shit grey. That was Bibby messing up Blueprint. Blueprint.
Yeah, Blueprint.
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 I like it better horizontal. Vertical, it's definitely too routerish. See, that's the thing, is it's going to be vertical for me because it's going to be stood up next to my tower. That said, it will be behind my monitor and stuff. I say that. Could you ever really hide that behind anything?
No. Thankfully, you won't be able to hear it this time, hopefully. Yeah, I'm about to say, the street will just be like, okay, the wind has come through to try and deliver this console, and now we can hear it from the other end of the street.
It's like the console starts firing up and all the lights start.
That's why we're having a power cut on Friday. Beta testing.
The top of the PS5 reminds me of Zurg from Toy Story's Collar. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, that's a great shout.
You guys met Natasha. Yeah, it was at the Twitch Christmas Mixer, which I always thought was funny because Twitch and Mixer are in the same setting. But it was a number of the UK Twitch partners. So me, Bibby, and a few smaller guys like Bateson and stuff were there as well.
That was a good night, that.
We spoke to him because it's nice to like make people like him feel welcome with the bigger boys. But you know it is. Non-descriptive grey. Can't beat it. Yeah. Anyway, let's move ahead. Next story. Talk about Fortnite.
Right, yeah,
Don't tell people until it's on screen, though.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay, nice. Okay, we'll talk about Fortnite. Okay, so this next article...
How can anybody think that this show's scripted? Like, it's like, we walk through the door, open the laptop, and then just put whatever's on the fucking screen on.
The next article, written by Matt Wales at Eurogamer, says Fortnite's next-gen update adds dynamic visuals and physics, activity support on PS5, coming to Xbox Series X and S and PS5 on launch day. So with next-gen practically in smelling distance, Epic has unveiled... I mean, what a word. Why would you fucking go with fucking smelling?
Is the motherboard just going to explode? You smell that? Oh,
smells like a next-gen console, that.
I mean, if I'm not seeing unboxings of people going... As soon as they open that up, then it's just not worth knowing, is it?
Of all the senses to choose, he goes from smelling to smell. Anyway, let's start with next gen practically in smelling distance. Epic has unveiled a host of technical enhancements coming to Fortnite as part. I'm lost now from chuckling. Coming to Fortnite as part of a free Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5 update, including the ability to hop directly into a specific mode lobby on Sony's console. As you'd imagine, many of Fortnite's next gen enhancements are shared between Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, including 4K 60 FPS support and what Epic is referring to as dynamic visuals and physics. The latter will manifest a more dynamic and interactive world, including grass and trees that react to explosions, enhanced fluid simulations for smoke and liquid, plus all new storm and cloud sound effects. Xbox Series S, meanwhile, will run most of these enhancements. Epic isn't being any more specific than that at the moment, unfortunately, at 1080 60 FPS. Notably, all platforms will support 60 FPS during split screen play. Nice. And will feature improved loading, said to impact both texture loading and the time it takes players to get into a match. In addition to the above, PlayStation 5 will introduce haptic feedback via the DualSense controller and, perhaps most interestingly, support for PS5's new Activities feature. Activities, as Digital Foundry explained in its recent rundown of PS5's UI, are essentially curated entry points into a game as defined by a developer. Fortnite's implementation of Activities will enable players to go straight to its Battle Royale lobby with either solo, duos or squads selected. Once there, players can confirm to join the queue for their chosen mode. Epic notes that all existing Fortnite features such as crossplay and cross-progression will carry over to the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S when the new enhancements come to each console on their respective territory launch days. Bip?
Yep.
What are your thoughts on this smellingness? Okay, thoughts.
Have you seen the trailer for this?
I haven't.
So I've just been playing it through the stream, and I'm seeing it for the first time now as well.
Bring it back on.
It looks good. Like I think it's quite difficult to be able to try and make games like this look better to a degree because of the way that it's like Borderlands, for instance. Like I know Mike never played that game because he said it looks like a cartoon. It looks like a comic book. But obviously, since Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 3, it looks brilliant. Like, the comic book style has progressed infinitely, shall we say. And it looks amazing. Whereas this, the cartoony style. It looks more colourful. I think that's the thing that stands out more. It looks more colourful, and you can see the textures and the polygons. Everything's got a bit more of a curve to it rather than a lot more straight lines. So, yeah, I mean, it's Fortnite. It's more Fortnite, and it looks prettier and more colourful. I don't think you could do much more with it. Like, if you was going to show the Unreal Engine off, is Fortnite the one that you want to put as your front page? Popularity, yes, but as using the full extent.
What can you get out of the engine? No, I get what you're saying. I mean, it's interesting that they did say that there will be enhancements in that. I mean, I don't think anyone that expects Fortnite to suddenly jump massively.
Yeah.
What are you expecting? Like you say, it's a predefined art style. That art style is almost at saturation already on what the current consoles can do in terms of presentation. The only things that you'll do to make that much better is stuff that's in there that you probably won't notice. But I think if you do play the PS4 version for a while and then jump back, you might notice it. And it's things like when they're talking about the grass and the water and the fire and things like that. That'd be like when we play upstairs in the office and I'm on the PS4 and you're on the Switch, and you'll see yours is like a scaled down version of what's mine. It'll be like, okay, Switch, PS4, PS5 kind of thing. It'll jump up in that sort of stuff. So it'll be the same thing, same but different. That sort of thing. Which is nice. I mean, I don't know if it says it in this article, but I did see something earlier on saying that it was a standalone update, as opposed to being like just the next gen, the current version, but
those two
upgraded.
Versions.
So it is the same game, fully like you would get everything, but it's the PS5 and the Xbox Series X specific versions. Okay. So it's been made for that console rather than playing one that's future.
So no cross-gen.
Yeah, it's all fully cross-gen, cross-play and everything, but the game itself is, if you've got a PS5, you won't play the PS4 version, you play a PS5 version of the game. Just like you'd get Spider-Man Miles Morales, you can play... Spider-Man, you can play on the next gen, but then if you get Spider-Man Miles Morales, you get the Super HD Spider-Man version.
So can PlayStation 5 still play with PlayStation 4?
Yeah, everything's still fine.
Right, okay.
It's just the game,
weird, isn't it?
The game itself. It's to make... I think it's a marketing kind of thing more than anything. It's like, okay, you can play the game, job's good and nice. It's like, yeah, but if you get the PS5, you'll get the special version. Yeah. So there's not really anything different. What can you say to anyone that's already got the game that's free and available on all devices, other than, okay, well, we'll give you a specific version for that one that's better. I play it, and I've got it, but I want the better one as well. So
water's a bit more blue.
Yeah, water's and fire's more fiery. Oh, that fiery fire! You gotta love that stuff. I mean, to be fair to them, GG's, because you could just rest on your laurels in that sort of sense. I mean, you never would if Fortnite is the IP that's driven the Epic Games Store and Epic. Yeah. There is no Epic without Fortnite now, so you wouldn't rest on your laurels. But they could have done, or they could have done a half-assed sort of step forward. They have gone with big visual upgrades, or big. They've gone with visual upgrades, as big as you'd expect for a game like that, as well as what you'd expect in terms of 4K 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So nice.
That's the biggest improvement in it, obviously. Like when I played on my Switch the other day, because I don't own Fortnite on my PlayStation, even though it's free. I just play it on my Switch because I can take it whenever I want with me. So I'm playing it on that, and that is locked to 30 FPS even in docked mode. But then when you go and play it like on my PC, and it's whatever my PC can handle, it makes a massissive difference. So this having 60 as your default is really nice.
It genuinely is. I mean, I can't talk about a Battle Royale without talking about PUBG, obviously. But PUBG just had their upgrade on consoles to 60 FPS, so you can choose I can't remember the names, frame rate priority or graphical performance something performance. One of them basically gives you higher resolution, one of them gives you more frame rates, and I went from the 30 FPS to 60 FPS using the frame rate priority option or performance priority, whatever it's called, and yeah, it's you don't notice it until you see it, and it's just like, how am I watching? I've literally for the last 2 years been playing one of those like Flickr movies.
Yeah. Playing a mobile game version of the game, like
and now with 60 FPS, it's like.
But I would always go for performance over visuals anyway. I mentioned this to you, but I don't necessarily think PUBG is a nice looking game anyway. Like, fair enough, everything's distinctive, you can tell what it is, but in terms of it being a visually really nice game, I don't think it's there. Like, it's just, it is what it is. But I'd much rather have the better performance.
I can see where you're coming from with that. I had the same. I don't know if it was a conversation we had. You can definitely see the difference if you're playing on a PS4 versus a PS4 Pro, and then you can see the difference if you're playing on a better screen. So we were sat at my house, me and Martin, in my setup, two consoles connected to two screens. I had a PS4 Pro, you had a PS4, and it looked crap on his. It looked better on mine. But that said, if you play it on PC, just yesterday, most streamers don't play it on full settings because obviously either CPU overload or competitive reasons or whatever. Anyway, Choco Taco turned into a stream yesterday, and it looked fucking majestic. And I was like, why don't I just play it on my PC? Plug my fucking controller into the PC. It looks ridiculously good there. But yeah, that aside, I completely agree with that though. I mean, I have a 4K TV and my monitors are only 1080p, but it's 244 hertz. So when you sat on a screen that's 25 inches, like, you don't need 4K. 1080p is more than enough. But if you can get 244 hertz out of that, then you are laughing. So yeah, that's I completely agree with it. Cell shading has come a long way from Jet Set Radio days, says Madge. Have you ever played Jet Set Radio?
Briefly. I've never... Obviously, I don't understand the hype because I haven't invested a lot of time into playing it. It's one of them games that if I went to a mate's house and he had a Dreamcast, I was playing House of the Dead, and then he might just put Jet Set Radio on and I'll play a little bit of it. But apart from that, no, not really.
Yeah, I never. There's a lot of love for it, but it's a game that passed me by. Gary says the update is coming out in a fortnight. Never having played it, but maybe draw distance improvements. Just call it PUBG ugly baby and be done with it.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily ugly. I just don't think if you, again, like the Fortnite situation, if you was to ever hold the game up as being pretty, I don't think it's going to win any awards. I think the gunplay is what makes that game as good as it is. You don't go to PUBG because it's absolutely amazing visually and you get the storyline that you want. I think it's just a very good battle royale in terms of, like you said, the gunplay and the mechanics of the game. Visually, I don't think it stands out as being one of the better looking games of the generation. That's my personal perspective. I don't own a PlayStation 4 Pro.
It's a good enough opinion. Like, I will play PUBG and I will play Warzone. I prefer PUBG. It's the better overall game for me, in my opinion. But then when you put Warzone in and you see how good PUBG is on PC, and then you see how good Warzone is on console, and it's like, why can't PUBG look that good on this when that can? So no, I agree. If you looking at PUBG on Ultra, it looks just as good. The light textures, the ground textures, the draw distance, everything, it just looks incredible. But you don't necessarily get that same experience on console at all. I see that. Depends on the type of game. 60 FPS is always better, but it's a single player narrative based game like The Last of Us. Very happy to push the visual fidelity and go 30 FPS for FPS.
Absolutely.
Completely agree. Yeah. 100%. Anything that is competitive, frames win games. That's what it says. So yeah. Anyway, Fortnite, the update will be coming to PS5 and Xbox. So Xbox Series X and PS5 will have a fully next gen Fortnite for those that want to move ahead. And if you kind of had up after spending 500, 600 quid, whatever, on your console, set up on your new headset and controllers and whatever, and you don't have $70 to play for the game, it's free. So there you go.
I'm absolutely going to be trying it anyway.
Yeah, full show. Flying around as Iron Man when Chloe gets me to level 100. Anyway, next bit of news and the last bit of news for the day. This one is written by Don Peppiatt at VG247. It says, Apex Legends director says the game will probably expand beyond Battle Royale. So Respawn Entertainment game director Chad Grenier says that Apex Legends will probably expand beyond Battle Royale. In an interview with Eurogamer, Grenier revealed that Respawn is already planning for content up to Season 12 of Apex Legends, and that, in the future, the game may even go further than being a Battle Royale. Right now, we're a Battle Royale game. I think if you look into the future, we have a lot of conversations of, should we expand beyond Battle Royale, Grenier says in the interview. We have this roster of legends that people love. How else can we use them? I think looking into the future, you're probably going to see the game becoming more than just a Battle Royale game. You see, we have all these LTMs and other ways to play. I think that's limit time modes and other ways to play. I think that's a great starting point. Whether this means different kinds of PvP modes or maybe even a foray into a PvP mode remains unclear, but it's interesting to see that Respawn is looking to expand the game. The game may even take cues from Respawn's previous Titanfall titles, maybe with more narrative missions appearing in the game, like the ones we saw in Season 5. Speaking of Titanfall, the game's newest map, Olympus, was originally designed as a concept for Titanfall 3. At one point, there was a... do you know, actually, we'll leave Titanfall bits because we're talking about Apex, so that's fine. Thank you for the tangent. But Apex, the world of Apex, could go beyond Battle Royale.
Yeah.
My initial thought is that's not quite surprising. I mean, they did touch on the fact that it's the world of Titanfall. I mean, Titanfall essentially went beyond Titanfall into Apex, so Apex going beyond that into something else. I mean, that's kind of par for the course. It's already done that one, so it doesn't surprise me that much. What are your thoughts?
Well, immediately when I seen the title of this, I honestly thought that they may end up going into a single player mode rather than... I didn't even consider the team deathmatch stuff that they clearly talked about in there. If I was to hazard a guess, they talked about people having a love for the characters. Obviously, there's a lore behind there as well. So I instantly thought that it would be a single player experience, that they would have, I don't know, 4 characters that people love the most and make a story out of it. I think that probably would be a nice little tangent. Maybe not the world's longest game, but a good 5 or 6 hours as a first person shooter with a little bit of story behind it. Then they could, if that does well, move on to potentially making DLC or a longer game in the future. I thought that would have been the obvious win for them. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because... I mean, something that me and you talked about before we went live today is the Battle Royale mode as we know it now going to be there in the next 2 years. I think we are moving at a rate of knots now. People potentially are falling off the Battle Royale bandwagon. They are. There's too for me. There's too many out there for you to be able to sink your teeth into. I
think it's not so much that there's too many. There's too many that are not doing anything worthwhile.
Yeah, like Hyperscape came out. Where the fuck's that?
It's still somewhere in the digital domain.
Yeah, like no, I mean this again. This is a pig ignorant thing for me to be able to state, but I haven't seen anybody talk about Hyperscape on my social media feeds for the longest time.
I've had a few conversations on Hyperscape, but they've all been from the angle of it was all right for a week, 2 weeks. Some people I know didn't get out of beta. They started playing in the beta and they just didn't bother going beyond that. Which I understand, and I think that's the thing. I love Battle Royale in terms of a video game direction. In terms of the experience, I mean, it's the game I play the most anyway. It's based in Battle Royale. Fortnite, I enjoy. Warzone, I enjoy. Yeah, I don't play Fortnite and Warzone all the time, but I enjoy the idea of Battle Royale. And Fortnite gives me building. If I want something different from PUBG, and that's a bit quicker game pace, a full game of PUBG is about 35 minutes. Full game of Fortnite's about 15. I'm talking PUBG big map. Fortnite's a different game from that one. Same sort of thing, but different. Warzone, much faster paced. Respawning, not loot crates, but the buy stations and stuff like that. All sorts of different elements. Okay, that's a different, almost crafting way of going. And it's not crafting, but you're killing people and getting all the money and you're buying stuff. It's effectively crafting in the game and buying, getting your crates, dropping stuff from the loot station. It's effectively that. So it's a different game. But beyond that, you don't tend to get much that's really changing things. I mean, what did Hyperscape do differently? It changed the circle to be digital, and the world was evaporating. It's the same principle.
I was going to say, it added free running, but that's pretty much what Apex Legends is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which they have like ropes that fire up into the sky. They have something similar. The only difference is you get to the end, and then you've got to shoot out for the crown, or whatever it was, which I thought was the worst part about it. So their only unique bit, I thought, was the worst part. Because you could hold the crown. It's like you got to hold it for 45 seconds or something. And you could hold it for 44 seconds and get like third partied by three different people, however many people are left alive, and then someone else can just grab it or whatever at the end. And it just didn't seem like you were rewarded. It seemed like there's a lot of luck in Battle Royale, which is what makes it good to casual gamers, because you could beat the best player in the world with luck. Anyone could win the Battle Royale. That's what's good about it. But you also want it to be based on skill as well, because if not, you won't have people coming back. It's like, if I can't impact on my chances of winning severely, then I am literally just rolling a dice. I could just roll a dice. That's easier to do than playing a game. And I think that's where Hyperscape kind of went down. And a lot of different games are not... They're either throwing Battle Royale into something else in the hope that... So they've had a conversation and gone, do you know Battle Royale gets loads of people watching on Twitch? Does it? Yeah, we'll have a Battle Royale mode. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
or they've just implemented it really badly, or they've just put something in that's a rinse and repeat of something else in their skins, but doesn't offer anything different. Well, if I wanted to play Fortnite, then I'd play Fortnite. I wouldn't play Fortnite in Ratchet and Clank's skin. I'd play Ratchet and Clank or Fortnite. I wouldn't play Fortnite in Ratchet and Clank. There's a different thing there. So yeah.
So I don't think the battle royale bubble has burst just yet. But from like my own experience, Fortnite was pretty much at one point the only game that my brother played. He then kind of moved into Rocket League, but he still had an active interest in Fortnite. But I feel like he told me that he feels like he's aged out of it. Like if he wants to play a battle royale game now, he plays PUBG. So I don't know whether or not that's just because that's in my bubble and I know about it because obviously it's my brother and I speak to him all the time. I don't know whether that's just a skewed perspective because of what's happening in my life, but I do feel like I don't say no one's playing Fortnite anymore because clearly they are, because it's still being streamed by a lot of people. A lot of people are still watching it, but it's definitely the bubble has popped in terms of Fortnite being the absolute global phenomenon.
I mean, that's definitely true. You look at what they have now, perhaps if you look at all Fortnite seasons on their own as individual things, this season is perhaps the most adventurous, with Wolverine and Thor and Iron Man and all the Marvel crossover in terms of what Marvel can give as reach and progression. I mean, obviously anyone that actually plays the game might go, actually, you'll think you find the missions are shit. I mean, I don't know, I'm not really playing it. But in terms of from the outside, that should be the thing that's absolutely commanding column inches. But it was the biggest thing that's ever happened to that game was not having content in it, the black hole kind of thing. But at this point now, that did bring loads of people back into the game, and there was a lot of content creators. The natural Fortnite-based creators were playing that game a lot. But clearly, they've done all of the content in that season pass, and there's not as much need or desire to keep playing through that. So they've gone, okay, we'll go and play Among Us, and we'll go play Fall Guys, and we'll go and play whatever in the meantime. Yeah, they'll probably jump back to it a couple of times a week, maybe. But yeah, it's not holding the content. And like I said, I don't necessarily think that's a shine on BR. I think that's a shine. We class BR as Fortnite and PUBG because they are the standout kind of things. I think it's more a case of those games are a few years old now. So yes, there is more content. Yes, there is new things. But unless you get a complete different experience, it's still an experience you've had before. And a lot of people naturally you played it, you move on.
It's a lot. I think it's a lot more difficult for indie titles to be able to pick up a new perspective of the battle royale stuff. If you're the market leader, i.e. PUBG and Fortnite, you're leading by example with stuff that you put in there. I was speaking to Lewis this morning about what was when I played Fortnite last week about the ghosts and ghouls and stuff like that was coming out. He went, funnily enough, when I was playing Warzone, it was very much the same thing. So it's like they're kind of copy and pasting the ideas from each other, just kind of see your own work, kind of I'll change it slightly kind of thing. But as an indie title, I don't see a way of them being able to break into it now to try and be... No, I mean, I've just seen Gaga then saying about Fall Guys, it seems to have disappeared. I agree, I don't see anybody playing that. Same with Among Us, I don't think that's a good game to stream. Obviously, you beg to differ.
I think it's an amazing game on stream.
It's not for me. Such a boring watch.
I mean, what do you guys think? In terms of Among Us, it seems to be chalk and cheese, or Marmite is the best way. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think if you watch people you know, and you get a good round table of content creators that you know their personalities, then it's a really, really good game. I mean, I'll give you a good example of that. I think knowing the people. So I've seen a little bit of the Sidemen stream it, and that was fun. I've seen like the Twitch big names. So there was like Courage, even PewDiePie was in on it, and a few other people were all streaming in a good lobby. And because you knew kind of their personalities, even though I don't watch them all the time, it kind of made sense. The flip side is I watched Shaw streaming it, and because he was streaming with a lobby of people that I didn't know, it wasn't as entertaining for me because I knew him and I like watching him getting shit on. So, but the rest of the interpersonal banter wasn't people that I knew, so it didn't quite resonate as well with me. What do you guys think? Among Us with 10 mates in a private room is Ace, says West. Yeah, that's kind of... It's the mates, it's the familiarity bit for me. Gavin says, there he is. Watching Among Us can be hit and miss, depends on who's playing and what they bring to it. I agree. What Shaw says, hello, there he is. I don't know if you heard that. I like watching you get shit on. I didn't mean in that way. Yeah. That's something different.
You signed up to his OnlyFans, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the thing. If you know who you're watching playing Among Us, it's incredible. It's in the same way like you play board games with your mates at a party. If you have like a group of people over or whatever, and you've got Cluedo, it can be funny as fuck watching, or a game where you've got a Monopoly or something like that, and you can see that you're twisting your mates. That's where the humour comes from. It's about you, not so much the game. But if you don't know the people that are playing, I don't think it sticks as much. As Joe says, wait, hold on.
Hey, oh, it's subbed as well. You absolute legend. Speaking of which, did he never messaged back yesterday in the loot drop, did you? You won the copy of FIFA yesterday.
Yeah,
and Graham's very politely messaged you, and you've ignored him.
Yeah, I messaged again earlier on today. Oh, shit.
What a piece of shit.
To be fair, all Among Us is just a board game. It is pretty much. It's exactly that. It's pretty much Cluedo. Did you kill someone?
Who did it?
But yeah.
I did play Among Us with my nephews, my brother and my sister. So my nephew is nearly 6, and I kept on killing him, and he'd go, Uncle Michael. Yeah, you did. But yeah, I would. The one thing that I really, really want to play, and I was watching Shroud play it either last night or the night before, and I haven't found people to be able to play it with, is Dungeons and Dragons. I want to fucking be that kind of smelly nerd that plays Dungeons and Dragons.
As in tabletop D&D?
Yeah. Oh, he's playing it on PC with everybody else, obviously because of COVID, and he's stuck in his house. But I really want to play D&D.
I'd have to research more into it because it's something that never got my attention until we had like Conair and Jacob, who used to be part of the team.
What's his second?
And they were D&D, and they were talking about bringing D&D in. It's caught. I like the idea of it. I've never played D&D. I think getting into the idea of that sort of role-play-ish gameplay might be good. But
the one person I would love to be, the Dungeon Master, Alistair. How fucking good would he be as a Dungeon Master?
I do want to shout out to West as well. I did see he jumped in and said something about I've missed PUBG chat. It's technically not PUBG chat. We're now talking about D&D, but it was actually Apex chat. So Apex Legends are saying that they will probably expand beyond Battle Royale, and we started talking about, is Battle Royale dead, as in the genre itself? Is it overdone? And I think the conclusion we kind of want to get is no, but yes. No, Battle Royale isn't dead. Is it overdone? Yes, it is. But why is it overdone? It's overdone because there's not really anything new to it. In the same way that multiplayer, because multiplayer is not dead. I've heard people saying that don't make any more battle royales, just leave it. Yeah, but multiplayer exists in pretty much every game with a gun. That's it. You can go online and have death matches and have capture the flags and stuff like that. That's multiplayer. All those death matches and capture the flags and things came out of multiplayer. BR needs that sort of evolution in terms of slightly different ways to play it, and I think that's kind of for me where it needs to go to be adopted. It doesn't necessarily need to be a standalone genre that is its own thing. It can be incorporated into other games, but done in a way that is intelligent. Yeah. Not just a case of, oh yeah, well, Geralt of Riviera, whatever it's pronounced, yeah, suddenly he's stood in the middle of a field and there is a waterfall all around him closing in. Why? Just because it sells the game.
Well, the one thing that I've seen as well was, Vampire the Masquerade. That's getting a Battle Royale. Why?
Like,
how? Like, why is that game of all games getting a Battle Royale? That just seems like it's bandwagon jumping to me.
Yeah, if... Like, some games you just think of like I mean, Naked Snake stood over there. So Metal Gear Solid. Like, Metal Gear Solid Battle Royale.
I think that would be great.
See, I think it could be as well. But if it was Solid Snake, Naked Snake, Old Snake, all the different snakes, all in like a Shadow Moses sort of setup, hangar, and you've all got to, like, as the floors are falling away or whatever, stupid. I mean, you start off, but it ends up stupid. Why is the floor falling away? If it's something where it involves like BR mixed with the stealth element and trying to get to different places and eliminating people that way, then that makes sense, because Battle Royale doesn't necessarily mean fist fight or bullet to the death. It's out survive other people. Outsmarting,
IQ plays.
And I think that's where Battle Royale still has a lot of growth. It just needs thinkers. People that are much smarter than me to create game modes that I would have never thought of.
Chapper's also said that if he would absolutely love to get into D&D, and if he was to find a dungeon master, he would be up for it because he's never played it and wants to play it as well. I imagine there's probably a lot of nerdy people that haven't been able to play it before. Like, there's loads of times where I've walked past. There's 2 places in town that, like, if you go into the back, they have like fucking Pokemon card battles and Yu-Gi-Oh battles, and they play Dungeons and Dragons, but it's getting through the waves of BO. For some reason,
well, you're not going to be doing that anytime soon.
No,
anyway.
No, but it's definitely a high G thing. But I'd love to play D&D. I'd love to be able to get into it. It's definitely something that I would love to do. But I've just never had the opportunity to be able to do it.
It's probably gone now. I've just seen that his name says Part on the chat, as if he's left. But Precision did say PUBG. I've never heard of that. What is it?
I did see it. Yeah.
I know that's a lie because he's sat on a bridge and camped it with me for about 20 minutes with no success, no vehicles, no people seen, nothing. So yeah,
Games Workshop, that's the place. There's one in Manchester. Cheers,
in Yarndale, in the corner.
There's one on the corner where Piccadilly Records used to be as well, near Affleck's Palace. Near all about.
There's one. It's a chain of stores. There's one in Birmingham near the Bullring Shopping Centre. It's like, I want to say something like Gamer Planet or something like that. Planet something. I can't remember. So, you guys should reach out to Tabletop Gaming on Twitch about appearing on a game, baby. We should reach out and see if they want to appear on our game. That's what
Absolutely.
It should be.
I mean, I would love. Well, because we're going into lockdown again soon. I.e., is it tomorrow at midnight, or is it like, because
tomorrow at midnight to start Thursday.
Right, so tomorrow's the last day that you can go out and fucking do anything.
That's why I've bearded up for now. So
right, okay. So I do think that at some point over the next 4 weeks we have a board game night. We can see if we can find something that we can involve everyone in.
We should have had this conversation yesterday because Lee has about 1,000 D&D box sets, starter packs. So unless he sold them all, he basically had a shitload of D&D stuff.
That'd work for me and you.
Yeah. Well, it would be either the Dungeon Keeper basically has stuff, because it basically gives you the story of what you're going to play through, and then you as the Dungeon Keeper then oversee it kind of thing.
Well, let's see if let me play this. So I text Alistair last night because I was lying in bed. And Samantha doesn't like anything that's good. So Lord of the Rings doesn't like, Red Dwarf doesn't like. I don't know why I married her. So I sent a picture to Alistair of Lord of the Rings because it was on last night, and he sent me this back.
That's no mere ranger. That is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, Isildur's heir.
You see, as a dungeon master, he's got the voice for it. He's got the whispering. It would be amazing. But we need someone with that kind of power and, I say, intelligence. But
yeah, I'm going to say this.
Yeah, we're talking about Azra. Rip. Tabletop Simulator is good for any board games on Twitch. That's definitely something. I need to write that down. Let me write that down.
I'm disappointed that no one knows the name of that game store that I'm trying to look for. I've just tried to Google it and I can't find it. But as soon as you put game store, it comes up with game. Did you mean game?
No, definitely not.
Roll20 website. Roll20? What is Roll20 a good option then? Roll20.
Because maybe it's not D&D that we're looking for. I mean, obviously that would be amazing, but something that, because the chat's popping, we've obviously got people that want to be able to play games with us somehow, some way. And I think something like that would be absolutely cool. Like, obviously, Show does is it Showdown Friday where he just tries to beat people up. Ravi owns him on Pokemon every single time.
He just loses all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why that's the only reason I subbed to his channel for ice cream for 6 months, just so that I could watch him get battered for 6 months.
Ravi just puts up and fucking ends his life on it. So if we could get, there's clearly an audience that wants to be able to play games like that with as many people, and there's 22 people in here now that. Let's get some sort of tabletop, because Monopoly is like 6 people, 8 people.
This is blasphemy. He won once.
That's not the agenda that I'm pushing here, so obviously...
Yeah. It's alright, I tune in and watch him play Among Us, and then it's like, I vote Shaw, and then Shaw gets ejected. It wasn't even anywhere near it. It was like, it was on cams. Someone just said, I think it was him, instantly out.
Yeah, everyone else, yeah, it was Shaw, yeah, no worries. Well, yeah, I definitely think that's something that... I mean, we spoke about what we could potentially be doing anyway. But yeah, let's see if we could try sort of something out where everybody else wants to play.
Yeah, there we go.
Games with friends.
Lockdown sorted. Biddy. Biddy is sus. Do you know what? That's his name.
See, on that, I have to look on my laptop screen, because on that, it doesn't show up with the...
It used to do,
Is
yeah.
that Lee?
So we... Is what Lee? I can't see.
He's in the window over there. Now he's rubbing his knob up against the door.
Oh, it's in the far window. Yeah. No, I can't see from my... Well, there you go. I don't deserve this, so sure, I definitely do. Sus. Well, yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
That's it.
What a way to end the show. Last one in the office.
So, do you know what? We'll have a look into that. We'll have a look. If any of you guys would be interested in any D&D stuff, then, yeah, obviously, feel free to let us know now in the chat. But, yeah, let us know on social as well. You can also let us know on the Discord. Isn't that right, Bib?
It is. The chat bot is open, so let's see if this works.
We need to turn it off again, because if not, it'll be on for
Well, I'm
4
shutting
months.
down everything in there anyway. Let's see if this works. Discord. Hey! Great style. So, yeah, joining that Discord.
That universal was us kind of like going, not sure it was. Yes, it did.
Well, because we've not used it for that long, the amount of commands that are in there are significantly less than what you've now put in it. So I didn't know if... I assumed it would be, because it's been there for a long time. But, yeah, if you all want to nerd out with us, then do... let us know in the Discord. There's many channels in there for you to be able to get involved. So it may be something that we try and run a poll or something inside there, if I can get that to work.
I mean, if there is enough noise in the Discord, we will create a section for it.
Yeah,
at that point,
agreed.
We won't throw one in until we know that there's actually something there. But yeah, nice.
Cool.
I mean, I could be up there. Words are hard. Who's emote? Is that like his class? That violin chick. Well, words are hard. There you go. Anyway, we are going to wrap things up. Thank you everyone for joining us in the stream today. Once again, we appreciate you all being here.
Yes,
and Madge, thank you for throwing in the socials as well, stealing Bibby's thunder before he gets to there. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Legend.
Speaking of that, Bib, anything you want to throw in?
Yes, of course. If you do see any video game news that's knocking around the social media platform of your choice, then...
Just change the camera because can.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I should have said myself. Is he into the stream already? Does he not want me to speak?
Fuck it.
So yeah, if there is any news that you see knocking around the social media platform of your choice, then do hit us up very kindly. Matt just put in the links for you there to be able to get hold of us. There's also a second way, which I put in before, about the Discord. Join us in now. We need is a link to the article as well as the URL. We will then feature that on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham? Day
10 a.m.
Ish.
Obviously, our nameplates are on the screen. That does include our links as well, should you want to send any stories directly to us. But yeah, Ice Cream Uploads is the one that you want. That's the one. Ice Cream Uploads across the board. Yeah. Nice.
So many issues in the chat now. You wankers. They all know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Nice. We will not be back in this studio for a good while now because, lockdown and that. We were hoping to get the desk out and have it all set up sometime soon, but social distancing for a while. So we're not even going to be back in the office for...
next year, innit?
Yeah, probably. It's probably going to be after Christmas before we are back in the studio. Which is nice because this isn't the most comfortable setup for broadcasting in, but it's socially distanced, so it needs must. Anyway, we will continue with the content though each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish with the scoop, and then Masters of the League and PUBG and FIFA 21 and Spider-Man Miles Morales and all the other next gen things as and when they come. So do feel free to stick around.
Yeah,
just a quick reminder. We are still closing in on 2K followers. Once we hit 2K, we will do a giveaway. So yeah, if you're new here and if you like what you've seen, please feel free to hit the follow button now. When we hit 2K, we'll have a giveaway that has multiple video games in it, plus other bits. So feel free to hit the follow. Once we hit 2K, we'll start that giveaway. You don't have to be a sub for that, like yesterday's giveaway. Subs do get the monthly loot drop, which was drawn yesterday. Shogun won a copy of FIFA 21.
Not that he cares about it.
No, he doesn't. He's not asked. Not bothered. I mean, I told him twice, so I think we should just give it to someone else.
I agree. Reroll.
Yeah, nice. So Show won a copy of FIFA 21 yesterday for his on the platform of his choice. We will have another giveaway at the start of December. I think I will probably win that because it's going to be my birthday right at the start of December, and then you could probably win some as well.
Yeah, why not? Because mine's like just after yours, so that'd be great.
Nice. I claimed in the Discord, get stuffed. God damn it. Not to be confused with 2K Games. Well, there you go. Ice Cream uploads 2K Games / 2K Games. My birthday right after Baby. It's all done, but at that point.
You see, mine's my 30th this year. This is his 40th, so I mean, who's the bigger birthday? Stop! He's gonna fucking hurt me. He's gonna hurt me so hard.
Piss off!
How angry did he have to be to get that wrong?
There's 2 letters in the word off. You just got to press one of them twice, and he added an extra one in the middle of it. That boxing match. Anyway, we'll stop annoying Show. We love you, Show, very, very much. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in the stream. We always appreciate having you here, but we're going to disappear now. We've got work things to do, innit? Yeah, you get me. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic day, and
stay frosty!